somewhat. Not the best, but it's something. I wonder, is this any better? Or
Yeah,
not
it's
so much.
better. I mean, it works. It works better because it gives me contrast between the
Okay.
two lights. Yeah, so that works. That works. It's fine. Oh,
Okay.
trust me, this is not a. This is nothing fancy. This is not a fancy operation over here. We
Yeah.
keep it functional.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, good deal, man. Thank you. Thank you. Good
Yeah. So,
stuff.
how you been?
Oh, great, great, man. Great. Just trying to keep up with all the crypto news. Exciting stuff going on in the space.
Oh yeah, of course. That
Absolutely.
that's uh that's where the noise is at right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's so much going on. It's kind of hard to keep track of everything.
It is. It is. It's like I find one exciting project, and before I know it, the next day there's another bigger and shinier project, and it's like it's hard to stay focused.
Yeah, I've one of my friends who lives in Canada.
Yeah.
Uh, I think when I don't know which coin was going crazy. No, no, no. I think it was during the GameStop uh,
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, he basically was taking no time off to. I mean, no time to take care of like school
Basically.
stuff. He was just he was just geared in.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I see what
Actually.
kind of obsession this is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I might need to just watch from a comfortable distance.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of movers and shakers. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, but like, I mean, one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you on the podcast because I want to get specifically to what you're currently doing in this space in a minute. But what I first want to know is like, if you can, let's say I'm a kindergartner or just somebody back home that you had to explain cryptocurrency to from scratch,
Yes.
right? How would you introduce me to the subject, basically?
That's a great question. So, one of the first things I tell people is that cryptocurrency is a medium of exchange, and if we see it that way, I think it simplifies things. As opposed to looking at it as a store of value, because it's easy to tell someone, "Oh, crypto is a store of value," but what is that? They don't know what that means. But if you tell them it's just a medium of exchange, just like the money we currently use, I think it kind of resonates more with the average person, because they just want things simplified. And if you basically tell them that cryptocurrency is just cash, but it's digital,
Mm,
and it has an associated value to it, and it can be used to transact online and also offline using POS systems, and just the way the currency is set up, you can purchase things and sell things with it as well, to accept payments. Uh,
I see. I see. So
one way.
let's say the person, since you say uh, it's a digital medium of exchange. What makes it different from uh, digital money?
Uh, Well, so let's take the example of Bitcoin, for example. So it's obviously the first flagship cryptocurrency to go out there. So people see originally they just saw that it didn't have any value. Some people saw that it didn't have value just because it's digital. But over time, it evolved to being this store of value that not just individuals were using, but companies started considering Bitcoin because they were looking at their holdings and the securities associated with their company's growth, and looking at ways to expand and also prepare for the future. So, in a sense, it's digital money, but then again, there's more to it because it's not just a medium of exchange. It has so many other utilities. It could be used, to store information in a decentralized way, where not just one person has access to that information, but the information is spread out on the network, where a person can do a query on certain object in the network and get the results from that object. whether it's the monetary value that that object has, or maybe an industrial application that they want to leverage from the blockchain, as an example. And the blockchain is just what runs everything for those that don't know, but I'm sure that most people know what a blockchain is by now.
That's another thing we have to get into, because I
Yeah,
mean I'm slightly familiar with the subject, but
yeah,
what if you would describe the blockchain to
yeah.
anyone? I mean, not anyone, but then again, like in layman's terms, what,
Yeah.
what would it be?
So there's this illustration, and I'm pulling it up now to basically show the difference between what a blockchain is and basically what cryptocurrency is. So the way I try to explain blockchain to people is just telling them that it's basically the underlying ecosystem that the currencies run on. So for the currencies to be usable, they need to have there needs to be a ledger system, basically a distributed ledger system where everybody on the network knows at all times where the funds are, what wallet has how much in terms of funds, and it's fully transparent. But then with the transparency also comes privacy. So those two things seem like they're uh, diametrically opposed to each other, but they work great with each other in the crypto world because there's a certain level of anonymity, and then there's also this level of privacy that people love about cryptocurrency and the way things are going into space. There is not one centralized entity that's just there in control of your money, and they can control your money. Nobody can just take over your funds like that in a decentralized manner and on a blockchain. So once the funds are on the blockchain, they're out of the control of a centralized entity. So that's the way I look at the blockchain and how I try to explain to other people. It's basically what runs everything. What all the cryptocurrencies are on, where the information is stored. It's all stored in the blockchain.
All right. So as far as enabling, as, as far as a platform, if we think of the blockchain as a platform, except for currencies, what type of other innovations does it enable?
There's so many different innovations. So let's just take, for example, one of the altcoins that just came out not too long ago called Propi. So what they do with their blockchain is basically store real estate information, land records, and different things like this. But they do it in a decentralized way. And the way it's decentralized is these different nodes and these different people that connect to the blockchain have records of the data stored. Um, that can be translated into actual real estate records. They can be plotted on an actual map with latitude, longitude, all that stuff. Yeah, and it can all be put on a grid. So that information it can be put on a blockchain, for example, and be used for that. And that's just one example of how blockchains can be used. There's so many different types of applications and use cases. So one of the exciting projects I'm looking at right now is Cardano. So what Cardano is doing is they're basically going into Africa and just trying to see how they can basically help change things around for the Africans there. So what they're doing is they're working with the Ethiopian government to just help resolve some common, data integrity issues dealing with government. And data integrity is critical because if you don't have good data, if you don't have good records, that leads to corruption. It leads to just bad records. It's not a good thing to have bad records, and we know why. So Cardano helps resolve that problem for the Ethiopian government, and it's looking forward to evolve into other African markets and different parts of Africa. And I think they're actually working with the Angolan government, trying to see what they can do to bring about a CBDC. But that's neither here nor there. But it just shows the power of the actual currency itself. It has so many applications and spans a lot of fields.
Yes, but as since we're on the topic of corruption,
Mhm.
the crypto space have is like the wild west right now. Like pump and dump schemes are everywhere. And
Mm,
I mean, I was having the conversation with a couple friends not too long ago. We were talking
yeah,
about how people are getting ripped off back home by all these scams disguised as like ICOs,
yeah.
or will pay you back in this uh, obscure crypto. What's what will make a regular person who, let's say, I'm a landowner, I own a
Mm,
couple properties, what would make them comfortable, aware of that, to invest in the space? And if they should invest in the space,
mm.
what would you recommend? And then again, oh, disclaimer, we are not financial
Yeah,
professionals.
that's right. This is purely for educational
This
reasons. We're
is
not
purely, actually, this is purely entertainment.
entertainment. Yeah, go right. That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
Complete amateurs. That's what we are.
Exactly. Exactly. Do whatever it is you want to do.
That's right.
Anyways, yeah. What would you tell such a person who's
Yeah.
trying to, who's looking at the space and is just they're not comfortable with the risk level?
Yeah, that's a good question. So one of the things I tell people is to consider the fiat currency system that they're in. So we're all using fiat currency, the paper dollars, the coins, and all that. But over time, we're noticing that the world is shifting or trying to shift away from fiat for multiple reasons. One of the reasons, dealing with money laundering and counterfeiting. You can't counterfeit cryptocurrency for one. So that's a big upside to using cryptocurrency, and the fact too that there is a limited supply for cryptocurrency. So there's a huge incentive to get in early on the ground floor before these currencies increase even further in value, and the sooner you can get in, the better it is. And I don't like to use the word invest, but to just get into that currency, to just hold uh, limited amount to begin with it, and just increase that amount over time is you're comfortable and as the person wants. But outside of the fact that fiat is being phased out, I would say one of the biggest upsides to crypto is the fact that a vast majority of the world population isn't even on crypto yet. So, conservatively speaking, I would say maybe 5% of the global population really uses crypto full time or like fully understands what it is. And then we have about 95% of the world population that's not on crypto yet. That's a massive wealth transfer that's about to happen, going from fiat to crypto. So for the average person that doesn't know the benefits of this, one of the things I try to relate to them is uh, deals with how the crypto space is laid out. So that there is this growth trajectory. People keep saying, oh, there's going to be a bear market for certain currencies, and we understand those concepts that the markets are going to dip and they're going to go up again. But from what I see from a personal standpoint, that we're going to be in a bull market for a long time, and the bull market is just the uptrend. We're going to be in that cycle where cryptocurrencies grow for a long time. The cycle is almost a year. It's not exactly a year, but that's about what a cycle is in the cryptocurrency world. And so with all this in mind, I think there's exciting developments in mind for anyone that gets involved um, in the crypto space
I
to
see.
make massive returns on their deposits. I'll refrain from using the word investment deposit.
Yeah, I was talking to literally the episode that's going to, the podcast that's going to air before this one, the one
Uh-huh.
I was actually working on. Uh, we were talking about how the crypto space currently, it looks like gambling.
Yeah,
Like there's a lot of FOMO, and
right.
I mean, I've been paying attention personally. I've been paying attention to markets for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, not in a very active kind of way, but
Right. Precisely.
from an academic standpoint,
I
right?
got you. Yeah.
And I'm aware of like the couple of crashes that happen every time a new technology is discovered. So when a new technology is discovered, there's this boom of ideas,
Disruption. Yeah.
right? And then your market comes, and it might be a crisis. Like basically, the perfect example is the
Mhm.
2000 .com bubble,
Yeah.
right? So for me right now, the my attention is on identifying
Mhm.
which one of these cryptos is the Amazon of 2000.
I got you. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like it may not be, I mean, the way Bitcoin is looking right now, it's going to be around for a while, even just for the nostalgia value.
Absolutely.
But a couple of the other coins, I think, will prosper under specific conditions. But I'm
Mhm.
trying to identify those coins right now. And
Okay. Absolutely. So, if I was to rank them in respective order, and I hate giving out coin rankings because we never know exactly what the market's going to do. But my preference, my personal preference, it would go in this order. After Bitcoin, I would definitely go for Ethereum, which it is the second largest cryptocurrency, and it has a massive ecosystem.
yeah,
And there's reasons why I pick Ethereum. Just because of market adoption, and it made such huge headway in the DeFi space, which is the decentralized finance space. And having been rooted in the DeFi space, Ethereum started branching out, and all these new coins started coming out online just because they started leveraging the Ethereum blockchain to establish themselves and also ensure that their long-term viability. So Ethereum is definitely going to be number one on that list for me. And after that, I would go for the BNB, the Binance coin. Uh, and there's multiple reasons for this. One of the main reasons for BNB is due to the fact that the minimal gas fees. It's a huge network, massive ecosystem, and it just has so many upsides in terms of growth potential.
it's actually the number one because I'm looking at Binance currently, and BNB is the number one rated on their page actually.
Under what?
It's the number one coin, at least the top coin that they show you on their page currently, BNB.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Binance owns BNB. They created BNB.
Ah,
And so that's the reason.
but do you see where for a standard investor
Mhm.
that seems sketchy? I mean, I understand
Yeah,
the politics behind it, right?
yeah,
But these scenarios where you know how in boxing there's a rule where you can't be a promoter and a manager at the same time.
yeah.
There's this kind of thing. It's this kind of feeling that I'm getting here that the owner of the
Good point.
ecosystem is
Yeah,
also the regulator.
absolutely. Yeah,
So it's not that it prevents somebody like me. I'm comfortable with the risk level, but I'm
yeah.
talking about when I'm like talking to somebody of my father's generation or my uncles, and I'm trying to
Right.
explain to them a strategy about how to invest in this space. It's like,
Yeah,
I mean, they may not know the technology, but they will ask every question necessary
yeah.
before they risk their money. And when
Absolutely.
they see things like this, these are red flags to them,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Because almost in any other industry, to me, it will just be like,
There's
but
great.
other but in most other industries, we have that history that
Over.
allows us to identify cases. But in the crypto industry, like the new schemes come out every day,
Absolutely.
so
Absolutely.
it's very hard to, I mean, with time people
Yeah.
will be more comfortable with these things, I guess. because
Yeah,
it's just the cycle for any new technology.
absolutely.
But I'm trying to relate to the seasoned investor, I mean, somebody who's worked hard to build their portfolio over time. And now
Right.
I'm telling them, how about you risk 10% of what you have on this?
Yeah.
You know, it's very hard advice to take, especially from somebody 20, 30 years younger than you,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm just trying to see if there's any approach to
Absolutely.
make it
Absolutely. Yeah.
understandable.
Right. I'm glad you said that because I run with that I run into that a lot. Recruiting in the crypto space, people always ask me, well, why should I put my money in this? Why shouldn't I just leave it in my bank account or just put it into the stocks? They look like there's huge growth potential there. So one of the first things that I tell them, leaving your money in the bank is just leaving your money to sit idle. It's not really earning you much at all. If anything, the bank's probably charging you, to store it there. That's not the case with crypto. There's no one charging you to store your money. It's fully decentralized. So that right there is a big incentive for me. Knowing that my funds are always with me, and that's a big advantage for decentralization. That your money's always with you. So to me, as far as trust goes, it's a more trustworthy way of transacting than a centralized system like federal or centralized bank. So that there's a security and privacy advantage right off the bat there for me. And knowing that my transactions are instantaneous, that I don't have to wait days sometimes for funds to clear or anything of that nature. My funds are instantly available to me at any moment. So that's one of the big things. And as far as the credibility for the crypto space itself, the way I try to explain coins to people is that, all right, so now we have these digital standards, and people decide to create these coins and associate values to them. But the creators of the coins, a lot of times they'll create coins with, well, most of the time they create coins with limited supplies. And they make them deflationary, meaning that there's only a certain amount of them printed over time, or only a certain amount of them, released to the public.
Yeah.
And out of that amount, it decreases over time. And so if you got in early and holding coins, your coin value is going to increase. But that doesn't mean that it's going to hold its value forever. It's going to keep increasing forever. It's still We still have to look at it as a market, just like the U.S. dollar. It's still it still competes with all the different market pressures. From the international markets, from internal pressures. There's so much going on with the markets. And so I always have to remind people that sure, crypto is definitely an exciting thing, but we can't just look at it as the solution that solves everything. I mean, it's just one of the systems in place to help us transact better and exchange funds with privacy and security as well. Just like with anything, there's also a risk leaving your funds at the bank. That there could be a run on the bank. You know,
So so what would you advise, let's say young man, 30s, engineer,
Mhm.
making six figures a year,
Yeah,
how much of their net worth, right? Let's say they have their emergency funds secured.
yeah,
They have a house and mortgage going on,
yeah,
maybe a kid or two,
yeah,
right? Wife has a job also, let's say making six five six high five six.
yeah.
What would you say, how much of their net worth do you think they should invest in they should risk in the crypto space?
That's a great question. So one of the first things I tell people that I recruit into any crypto platform is only deposit what you can afford to lose. And that's not to tell people that they're going to lose their money, but I just put that expectation out there that this is a market after all, and that there is a risk of losing your funds. But the upside is far outweighs the downside to me. Just looking at the trends and how there's a massive wealth transfer going on, and it's benefiting the crypto world because people are looking at cash as this thing that's about to be phased out. There's this market uncertainty, so people are moving into crypto, looking at it as a store of value that they can sleep comfortably, knowing at nighttime that their funds won't there won't be a bank run on their funds. There's so many different things, and their funds can be accessed from anywhere on the planet instantaneously. Could be sent to anyone without restrictions. Um, and so there's that. But to answer your question, as far as what I would advise a person to do, of course, I would tell them I'm not a financial advisor, and this is purely education and entertainment. Yeah, right there.
Oh, promise you'll be on the screen.
Yeah, 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 exactly. So, the way I do it, it's almost like the jar system with the Jews. The Jews basically teach their children to invest early on with a jar system. I think it's 5 jars that they use. One jar for tithing, the other jar for savings, expenditure, so forth, so on. So, I would set up a jar, maybe do 10% for someone that's completely new and green to the space. That's it. If 10% is doable. I know that it's completely unrealistic for some people, but if they can shell out 10%, why not do it?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a matter of priority and just if you have a map, if for those who prepare and make maps for their lives, like if you
Yeah,
depending on where you want to end up in life,
yeah,
10%. I mean, it may be a stretch, but I mean,
should be
I'll say
doable.
anywhere, in my opinion, anywhere between 7 to 10% is reasonable, right?
Yeah, yeah, I definitely agree. I definitely agree. Now, taking it from a noob, so I started in the crypto space in December. I was completely green to the space, but my friend had presented the opportunity so well to me that I got so excited. I literally put in like every penny I had. I went ahead and cashed everything out I had from the bank and just said, let's
Bruh,
do it.
do
But
it.
I definitely don't advise that. Don't
Make
do
some
that.
back,
Yeah, you
please.
know, yeah, that's definitely not sound advice. But the reason why I did that is because I had already paid out rent for the month. I had food in the fridge, gas. But
Please, please
it's
tell me
horrible.
you did
But
not take a PPP loan.
yeah, yeah, don't take a PPP loan. Don't do that. Yeah, definitely don't do that. But it ended up being a good return for me because I more than 5x my money in within a month. So
Okay, so there's that, right?
yeah,
The another issue that I have that is recurrent is,
yeah,
well, you're making this much money. We have all these Bitcoin billionaires, Ethereum millionaires, Cardano
yeah,
trillionaires.
yeah,
Wonderful, but uh, we've yet to see, at least maybe maybe once they become billionaires they just disappear from the common sphere,
yeah,
but but people don't see everybody is holding
yeah,
everybody's holding onto their assets on the platforms. they
right,
it's going to the moon,
yeah,
those, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But it's like, first of all, as a mean of doing business, of daily transactions, basically buying milk,
right,
it's not there yet for your average household, right?
yeah,
For even individuals. I mean, in
yeah,
a couple of exotic places it is, but
yeah, yeah,
the adoption is not there yet, right?
exactly,
So
yeah,
people have a hard time thinking, okay, let's say I have $100,000 on of Ethereum or on Ethereum or Bitcoin or wherever, and I'm
yeah,
becoming a millionaire on a daily basis.
yeah,
But there are bills to be paid. There are emergencies.
yeah,
There are accidents, right?
yeah,
I'm trying to access some of those assets to basically
really,
take care of life stuff, because
I
I
got
mean, yes, everybody says invest only what you're able to lose.
you. Yes,
The truth is, almost everybody breaks that rule,
Yeah.
right?
Ooh,
So is there is there currently a mean to quickly put your money in and bring it out and just
absolutely.
put it to use in the real world?
Absolutely, absolutely. And there's different services coming on online in the crypto world now that are actually offering debit cards or bank cards.
Okay.
Not bank cards. I said bank cards. They're debit cards. So crypto.com, they're one of the most popular ones. They've got their own card you can request, and just like a debit card, you can use it anywhere a debit card is used at an
So
ATM.
it will spend from whatever coin you have straight to dollars.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's
And so that's readily available now. What people don't see is I guess practical is the fact that you can't just load funds directly onto the card. You have to buy the crypto on the back end, load it onto the card, and then it's available on the card. So that inconvenience there, I think it's getting some people. But I think that there's Bitcoin ATMs that are coming out now, and I don't know if there's a way to maybe reload them through the machine somehow, but I can see that going into effect within the next few months or maybe even years. I don't know. It seems like a feature that most people want. I know that I definitely want to go to an ATM and just deposit cash in there. But for now, I might have to go buy the crypto through a website and then or through an app and then have it available inside my phone.
there's still
Put on the card.
there's still too much friction in the space.
Yeah, yeah. Things are
To
definitely getting better.
yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely, but it seems at least that a couple of these coins are here to stay.
Oh
It
yeah.
seems, or worst case scenario, they'll find a specialty market where they're the main currency of use.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
But oh yeah, I wanted to know your opinion when it comes to exchanges.
Mhm.
Which exchanges do you find? I mean, I can go online and Google the most trusted exchanges, but
Right.
as a current practitioner in the
Mhm.
space, which exchanges that most people are not familiar with that can be trusted?
So one I use very frequently is called Changely, and you basically go buy crypto there. It's instantaneous. It sends the money to your wallet, to an external wallet. There's also a ton of them that have specific use cases in it. So the one I started using last night is Bitmart, and the reason why I started using Bitmart is because it's one of the few exchanges where you can actually buy Shiba. Shiba is the new altcoin. There's other altcoins that are just skyrocketing around now, and I'm getting in there. So Shiba isn't even 1 cent yet, and one of those few exchanges you can get it at is Bitmart. There's Whitebit, so many other ones where you can pick up these altcoins, and I think that that's really where the action is going to be for the rest of 2021. The altcoins. We've seen a lot of excitement with Bitcoin and Ethereum, and that excitement is going to continue. But I think for the massive gains in terms of percentage gains, that's to be found in the altcoins. So Shiba Coin, Hanzo, Inu, which I just got a few days ago. Safe Mars, Safe Moon, Safe Tesla. There's so many of them coming online
Oh,
now.
that's you see me and my peeps, the scary cats, you know. As
Yeah,
soon as we start hearing stuff like Safe Moon,
yeah,
Safe Tesla, you know, all the meme coins, like
yeah, yeah,
I mean, personally, on this is how I see all these I mean, these meme coins. To me, they're penny stocks.
they're what?
To me, they're like the penny stocks of the
Yeah,
space.
oh yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, so I don't. It's fun if I want to spend like 6 hours just geared in into something crazy,
Yeah.
trying to just surf a stupid wave. But you know, I do not suggest to take out the college fund of your kids and bet it on
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
you might
Um,
crash in the sea.
Yeah, yeah, that would be a good idea at all.
Yeah, yeah. But are you, how familiar are you with digital wallets, basically?
So it's I fully use the digital wallets. I don't have a hardware wallet yet. I plan on getting one, but I'm one of those people that if something works for now, I'll stick with it until I see a need to do otherwise. But most crypto experts do recommend that you get a hardware wallet. I just, for some reason, that I just don't like the sound of that because it seems like the records are stored on a digital record that could even it could get lost just like anything else. So to me, if I can store my passwords somewhere where I know they're not going to be affected or wiped out somehow, then
Mm.
I'm perfectly fine with doing that. And maybe creating a second copy of those passwords so that there's resilience there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's it's a for somebody who's busy, it's really a lot to learn. You need to have you need to have some time
Yes, yes, oh yeah.
to really set aside to get
Learn.
into the space. And on top of that, in the space alone, so many things in the space itself, there's so many other innovations that are
Yeah,
coming up every day. For example, oh yeah, the new craze. And
yeah,
I'm trying to capitalize on this craze.
yeah.
How familiar are you with NFTs?
Yes, somewhat familiar. I'm trying to keep up with them. So the energy coin is one of the ones I'm looking at in the NFT space.
Mm.
Uh, NRGGY. So that's becoming a huge thing in the NFT marketplace. But I'm definitely learning. It's a new space. I think everyone's trying to wrap their heads around exactly what NFTs do and um, how to monetize. I guess what
Because I'm really getting I'm getting to meet a lot of artists lately because of the podcast and the people I get to interact with.
Right.
And you know how like back home they don't have the proper copyrights,
Yeah.
and some people never get paid any royalties for their
Yeah.
music being used.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, I've been because I have this weird belief
Right.
that there's going to be a non-negligible amount of unicorn tech
Yeah.
companies, and not just tech, but
Hmm.
a lot of tech companies that are going to grow out of Africa,
Yeah.
specifically like that Gulf
I agree.
area, you know.
Oh yeah.
And because of that belief, I want to see. I kind of want to have like my ear to the ground to know where those spots are going to be at to invest at the right moment. And I'm thinking about like, suppose I'm able to gather these artists,
Mhm.
whether we create a coin for for their catalog, or just mint their music into NFTs, or
Right.
these paintings, these sketches.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, there's all kinds of cultural assets
Absolutely.
developed, right? People are coming up with new dances all the time. We know
Right.
the guy who created the dance, but he's still laying down in a bar somewhere all the
Yeah.
time, you know.
Absolutely.
I'm just trying to think through these ways that we can uh, leverage new technologies to yield a new type of value out of the assets that we are, those intangible assets that we actually have, you know.
Absolutely.
And like I'm really looking for people in the space who can explain to me how those connections
Right.
can be made, you know. NFT and African music, NFT,
Right.
and even for example, the podcast that I'm running right now,
Right.
it should technically be possible for me to mint some of these episodes into NFTs, right?
Absolutely. Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's definitely exciting. It's good to hear you talk about this because that's a huge space. I mean, massive, massive opportunities there.
Yeah, massive. I mean, just think about the digital painting that got sold for 62 point something crazy,
Right,
like millions of dollars. Like, first, a part the cynical part of me
right.
screams money laundering,
Yeah,
right?
right,
But then there's another part of me that says, what are the proper dots that need to be connected to
right,
build that type of that type of revenue on a piece of art?
right,
Because you cannot tell me that we don't have transcendent art
right.
in Africa.
Absolutely.
And when I'm saying Africa, I'm being extremely broad because you might go to one
Oh,
neighborhood and find seven painters doing crazy competition,
yeah, yeah.
you know. So I'm thinking this is me. Keep the mining operations, keep the power, keep
Yeah,
whatever you want. But
yeah,
these are new spaces.
yeah,
New
absolutely.
spaces where the competition for the market is still
Almost
within
inexistent.
reach to like your average guy. I mean, you still need to have internet,
Right, right.
basic internet connection.
Cell phone.
But if you have basic internet connection, it's a matter of leveraging your knowledge and creativity
Absolutely.
and a whole lot of hard work. But
Right.
if you're willing to do that, I see Africans creating a monster value.
Absolutely.
But I mean, how do you get there? How do you do that? Not just
Yeah.
talking about it, but like the practical steps that need to be
Implement.
taken. Like,
Yeah,
I'm really looking at on for advice on that end.
absolutely. So I think you're definitely onto something huge here. So one of the things that I've started looking into is Big Cloud. I don't know if you heard about it yet, but it's relatively new, and you know it's one way for people to start raising value for their own self, either net worth or just trying to get some type of equity shown publicly in the world that they're worth something. You know, and Big Cloud seems to be one of those platforms that allows people to do that. Basically, you know, show their net worth in a I don't know in a community centric way. Um, and it doesn't have anything to do with NFTs necessarily, but I think if we can maybe build some type of NFT platform like that just for Africa, um, you know, maybe something like that could go a long way. But
I
I
mean,
don't
because on my end, this is how I've come to look at every innovative market
know. Right,
that's coming around. It's the old wisdom still applies.
absolutely.
Don't try to dig for gold,
Yeah,
sell them the shovels,
yeah, absolutely.
right?
Ab-
So as I'm looking at this cryptocurrency market, investing, speculating, just being part of the ambiance, it's fun. And
Yeah,
there's a there's time for that in my life.
yeah,
But I'm really paying attention to these structures that are being built around the technology to keep
absolutely.
it viable. Those structures are going to yield a lot of money, especially exchanges,
Absolutely.
wallets, uh, security companies associated with these organizations.
Yeah,
Like, I'm really trying to pay attention to the ecosystem outside of the crypto element,
right.
you know. And it's if first of all, if I can build an exchange, Lord of mercy and grace,
Yeah,
retirement is on the horizon.
yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But but I'm really looking at what in the space I can do
Yeah,
beyond simply investing, because it just seems like everybody's rushing into investing.
absolutely.
Everybody wants to make a passive income.
Absolutely.
And
Just forget about
I mean, I'm slightly critical about this line in the Bible where it says that you will eat at the sweat of your brow or something like
it.
that.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe that hard work is necessary in everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
But but I still believe that there's a lot more profit to be made
Yeah.
in applying some hard work beyond in passive investing in this space. Now,
Absolutely.
how I don't know yet.
Yeah. No, you're
And if the
absolutely.
Lord lets me know,
Yeah.
understand, I
Yeah.
shall be on the path.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm actually glad you said that because it goes into a natural transition into one of the things I wanted to mention. So you started talking about the NFTs, and now we're on to talking about just being basically creative. You know, leveraging our creative talents to bring something exciting to the marketplace, something that other people can benefit from, and it actually solves real problems.
Yeah,
And so that's one of the things I've been looking into, especially with my heritage and my background. I'm originally from Timbuktu, Mali. My country's going through a lot of turmoil right now. Yeah, thank you. That's it. So, we're going through a lot of turmoil, and I want to do something special, for my hometown, Timbuktu, because there's such history, immense history associated with it. A lot of artists are from there. A lot of art has come from Timbuktu, but capturing that history and trying to associate some value to it so that the people can benefit is something that I've been thinking about brainstorming, and I've actually secured a domain, Timbuktu.finance, and it's one of those things that I'll roll out over the next few weeks, if not months. uh, and I'm excited about it as a project because it kind of combines the whole NFT space with some type of payment system, hopefully to have people make. It goes back to the passive income again. They have people make passive income. If there's a way to do that with that coin and that platform, I definitely would like to see something of that nature come into play. But that won't be my focus. My focus really is to try to develop, like you were saying about the NFT space, some type of NFT platform that can be integrated with that Timbuktu.finance to reflect the ancient manuscripts, because those manuscripts are actually considered art artifacts. Some people see them as artistic, and some people just see them as historic documents. So,
oh
there's two different
yeah, a lot of
crowds of
value,
people.
a
Uh-huh.
lot of value.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I've
So,
I've I spend there's this actually I'm going to have him on the podcast in a few months maybe. There's
yeah,
this librarian that I there's this library that I visit, and the
right,
librarian, he's a talker.
yeah,
And I mean, he taught me a lot about investing in books, like books as assets,
yeah, absolutely.
right?
Yeah,
There's these like pieces. Think about the U.S. Declaration of Independence.
right.
That's a priceless
Oh
artifact,
man,
right?
yeah,
The type of loan, if it was necessary, the type of loan the U.S. government could take out against the document, the original
right,
document, is
yeah,
mind blowing. This is
yeah,
It's maybe the most precious document in the most powerful country
yeah,
ever,
yeah, absolutely.
right? So it's when you speak about just the artifacts of Timbuktu and
Yeah,
just your idea, I mean, it's it lines up with this library project that I'm working with right now.
nice, nice.
My older sister has this organization back home that helps juvenile kids in juvenile detention,
Oh wow.
basically trying to make sure that they don't fall behind in their studies,
Okay, I see.
trying to go to the prisons and keep their classes going, and giving them
Awesome.
workshops,
Right.
a bunch of little activities. They had to stop because of the COVID
Absolutely.
situation, but meanwhile, she started a library, a community library. and
Nice.
it's a very small operation currently. I'm actually going to put together a newsletter to try to like raise some funds and get some book donations in a
Yeah,
few
most
weeks.
definitely.
Yeah, but it's basically one of those things where trying to educate and
Yeah,
revive the culture.
yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And at the same time being giving direction to a group of people that really need it.
Absolutely.
Because my approach to her project was basically these are some of the most daring kids in the country.
Yeah.
They're just extremely bored.
Wow, absolutely.
The whole goal is to direct that boldness, the
Mm-hmm.
boldness that pushes you to commit a crime, right?
Right.
If that energy could be directed towards uh, achieving something, like putting that energy towards something productive,
Right, right.
right? One thing that I noticed when I was in high school that I thought teachers were stupid at the time when they were doing that, but
Yeah.
with time it made sense. The most troublesome kid in the class, a lot of teachers ended up making them the head guy in the class,
Right. Yeah, yeah. To lead up.
right? Because the thing is really to give people responsibilities.
Absolutely.
You see somebody who's always breaking things in the house, you
Yeah,
give them the responsibility of making sure that nothing gets broken,
absolutely.
you know.
What you
so
do?
so that's what I'm seeing. I'm looking at it and I'm like, the idea of basically I have a certain education in Africa, though I do not want to become a teacher. And I
Right.
do not want to go back and sit back home just because I want education
Yeah.
to improve.
Right, right.
But I do want to see like the nature of education and
Yeah.
back home evolve not only in the
Yeah.
knowledge of ourselves that
Right.
we're trying to create, but also in the knowledge of like the actual world that's around us. Not
Oh yeah.
not at the movies, but the
Right.
practical stuff.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
whenever you travel and you go to a new country, that taxi driver will try to finesse you at your money.
Yeah, man, that's for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
I
Like
definitely relate.
practical things.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, your library and financial advisory ideas. So is the website up already, or it's going to
It,
be up in a few months?
it'll be up in a few months. I've got the domain secured. I'm looking at different ways to implement a token or a coin. Uh, but it's one of those things I'm finalizing, and I probably shouldn't have even mentioned on the podcast, but I'm glad I did because, it's exciting. It's exciting for me and I'm glad I got it out there.
Of course, it's just more pressure to keep up with your deadlines.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I got to
Yeah,
match
yeah.
everything else.
Like I'm really trying to meet as many people as I can in the both in the cryptos, I mean in the crypto space, but in the whole financial space,
Absolutely.
especially in fintech. Fintech is growing like crazy back home.
Yeah, it is.
Like I mean, I've been watching a series of conferences in
Right.
Asia. I mean, you have all these firms out of Hong Kong trying to
Right.
find uh, fintechs in Africa. You have a couple of US companies and French equity firms
Right.
investing. And it's weird. Like, it's one thing I hate back home, right? Is you see this great success story of
Right.
this African entrepreneur, especially in kind of like the finance sector, and you're thinking,
Right.
I'm proud of you, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And come to find out, it's just the front man of some uh,
Massive
obscure
VC.
European firm.
Yeah.
It's like the whole Jumia fiasco,
Yeah, absolutely. That's how it
right?
works, fortunately.
You okay? So basically, I learned over the years. I learned more about the actual company that's behind Jumia, It's
Yeah.
run by like these brothers who are German billionaires, and
Yeah.
basically their focus is to clone uh,
Um,
successful American tech companies in
right.
Europe and other spaces in the world, and then sell those clones back to the original company when they want to expand globally.
Unbelievable.
Right? They're like the kids of lawyers, so it's really the sleazy business approach to tech in this case.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
they branded their company as a company that builds companies.
Right. Yeah.
So I saw like the at least whoever they published as the head of division
Right.
in Africa, who was in Nigeria. Like
Right.
there's videos of people telling you about how they're running these really sketchy
Massive.
operations.
Yeah.
They went on the and they're like branding themselves as the Amazon of Africa.
Yeah.
So basically, you haven't won the space yet.
No, no, absolutely not.
You and they IPO'd over here.
Yeah.
I was
Mooning.
back then. I remembered I wasn't in a situation where I could have played in that game, but I was like, and I didn't have the time to write an article because
Right.
when I notice these things, I laugh at it and I just stay quiet because I
Yeah.
know I don't have the leverage.
Yeah.
But it's like sometimes I just want to write a detailed article
Right.
about why people should short that type of stock.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like I have this conviction somebody or a group of people are going to become crazy billionaires
Yeah.
shorting stocks out of Nigeria.
Absolutely. And it needs to happen. Nigeria is definitely a shining example for a lot of African countries and entrepreneurs. So you're definitely right about that. Something needs to be done.
It's crazy. Like you watch these success stories, and the problem is you don't want to seem jealous or bitter,
Yeah.
but it's truth that a lot of Nigerians are worked. I mean, it's just crazy being Nigerian, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Oh yeah.
There's so many people in your country. God
Absolutely.
have blessed most of you with tremendous intelligence,
Oh yeah.
tremendous ability. Like
Right.
you're competing for everything,
Oh yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
And even though a lot of you are outside the country, it's still too many of you at home,
Yeah.
right? And then your government is, hey, oh guys, I don't know if it's real, but the children say you are corrupt,
That's what
right?
I hear.
you know, so
That's what I
there's
hear.
that, and then you have the external pressures,
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
the fact that
It never ends.
navigating markets is just this crazy thing. So I mean, it's too easy for them to just decide, hey, somebody is playing me, I'm going to play somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
So
exactly
I
it.
mean, I'm guaranteed the scammy stories out of Nigeria,
Yeah.
that's not going to stop anytime soon.
Yeah.
But you know what is also true
Yeah.
is that, I mean, that's I'm just giving my theories over here. But
Yeah.
what I believe is also true is that because they're so prepared, they're prepared to go as far as you see Nigerians usually go. They
Yeah.
they are probably going to be the first to create like
Gold back currency.
brands in Africa that have a global prestige.
Mm.
Like for example, Dangote, for example.
Yeah.
If you've noticed these last few years, he's been very strong on branding the name Dangote, like going
Yeah.
to these big events. I remember the
Right.
first time I heard that he was a billionaire, we used to never see him on TV or in magazines.
Oh yeah.
But now he's like really doing the media tour,
Yeah.
you
Most
know,
definitely.
and he has like a bunch of international investments. I think I heard like he invested 2 or 4 billions into like a new fund created by the
Right.
Carlyle Group. I don't know if
Oh.
you know the type of dudes
Oh yeah.
that are
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah, they're
Right.
massive.
So it's Nigerians. That's when God was making people.
Yeah,
You know, he went slightly overboard on something over there.
yeah, yeah. No, for sure. They're peculiar people, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, when this is the thing, right? When you have somebody is violent in your tribe, you will not like them until the day of war.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
You
That's it.
know, then their skill become
Come
very
in.
useful.
Yeah,
It's kind of the same way I look at not all Nigerians, because I try to judge case by case, but I have to acknowledge that I start thinking Nigerian first.
yeah,
But like I try to look at them as, if the world tries to play Africa
yeah,
collectively, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? We need to let Nigerians play point.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
They will sell the Eiffel Tower to the French people.
yeah, they will. Yeah, that's for sure.
And they might do it twice.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, no doubt. See, there's so many exciting developments going on in Nigeria, even with the whole blockchain revolution. It's doing amazing things over there, but the government's been trying to ban it and block it. But there's no way they can stop the blockchain technology. There's just no way. So many other countries tried, but there's no way any government in the world can shut
I
it
mean,
down.
wasn't India trying the same thing?
Yeah, they won't succeed. They're going to move towards their CBDC model, which they have no choice on. Every country in the world is going to eventually move towards the CBDC. But what they can't stop is the alternative coins, that are used outside of their markets. Just because they have a centralized market doesn't mean there is no other markets that can be used with other coins. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, but
so,
we're talking about politicians over here. Like when it comes to self-preservation, politicians are some of the best.
oh yeah,
You know, like
it's in
I
their
mean,
nature.
China just launched their digital yen,
Yeah,
right? They're even starting to pay employees in certain companies with digital yen. I mean, I, I don't know. Like I don't know. This is basically politicians will regulate the space to gain control.
right.
Because yes, we do agree when we look at the theoretical models that the blockchain cannot be hijacked.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's no way it can be hijacked. Yeah,
You know, but we are human beings.
yeah,
These impenetrable wall theories, we've
Um,
always had them. The Titanic was supposed to be unsinkable.
yeah, yeah, for
You know
sure.
what I'm saying? So it's like there's either a point or multiple points of failure that the majority is ignoring, right?
Yeah,
It may not be intrinsic to the technology or even the space. It may simply be because you're taking something pure and putting it into a corrupt stack.
absolutely.
You know, like because I'm thinking I don't know exactly how to describe what I'm thinking in this case, but it's like
Yeah,
it's just it seems like the story is too beautiful.
yeah, yeah,
You know, like finally we're going to be able to free ourselves of government control over our finances
yeah,
and
yeah,
over creating debt. And it
yeah,
just sounds like a speech from an African president in the 60s.
yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, we are out of colonization. We're about to be
Yeah,
free. We have this franc CFA. Life is
yeah,
going to be dandy out here. You
yeah, for
know,
sure.
and it's I don't know. And there's also conspiracy theory side
Yeah.
that understands that most of the technologies that have been released into the wild, I mean, I'm going, okay, I'm
Oh,
using these words very loosely, by the way.
yeah.
But most of these technologies that have been released into the wild were known to people who had the proper clearance for decades.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And we're just now getting access to it.
You know, like for
That's
example, when the internet was released,
right.
right, into the wild, we all believed that this was finally the time of freedom of information.
Right.
But now we know that these algorithms are putting what they want in front of us. I mean, what we will buy only in front of
Yeah.
us.
Oh, yeah.
They're not. We're in the time of fake news. We're
Right.
in the time of cancel culture. We're in
Yeah.
the time where people can be shadow banned,
Oh, yeah.
right? What we're in the time where, for I was reading these papers out of France
Yeah.
and watching a couple of documentaries, and literally the most powerful tech companies, and I love America, by the way. To
Yeah.
learn
Yeah.
so much. America made a man out of me.
Yeah.
But it's the other powers in the world are very aware of how America is gaining a strategic control over them by controlling the base infrastructure
Oh, yeah.
of the
Most
internet.
definitely. Yeah.
You know, like your information goes through our servers,
Yeah.
the
Oh, yeah.
secret services of Czechoslovakia or
Right.
whatever. As my president Trump would say, shithole country.
Yeah. 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 That's
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like
Yeah.
that, you're not protected.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So now
Uh-huh.
the internet that was supposed to be this neutral place now
Right.
becomes US
Battleground.
internet, Chinese internet, Russian internet,
Yeah.
dark net, regular net.
Oh, yeah.
It's like I'm looking at this and I'm thinking the same idealism that is necessary to build these spaces in the first days
Right.
seems to be the spirit of the moment when it comes to cryptos.
Yes.
And it, you see, I'm going into a philosophical rant, but
No, no, it's good.
it will be like identifying how the space is going to fragment itself.
Hmm.
That's going to really tell me if this is worth it. Because the way it's been spoken of, I need to put my entire life saving in the space because
Yeah.
this inflation is coming.
Yeah.
Whether
Yeah.
we want it or not, it's coming, right?
Yeah.
And one thing that is true is that humans like to beat their own records.
Oh,
So
yeah.
this may be worse than 2008, or
Oh,
it
yeah.
might be something soft and the next one will be worse.
Yeah.
All I know is that by then I want to own land and I
Yeah.
want to grow my own food so I can make it through smoothly. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
The key.
but yeah, like I'm trying to look at this and it's just like it
There's.
seems there's a lot of it seems I feel like there's so much fog around. I feel
Yeah.
like somebody is about to hit me with an uppercut.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I'm just trying to know exactly what's going on. I don't
Yeah.
know if you watched the Elon Musk on SNL this weekend.
I completely missed it. You know, there was all the buzz about it. I was messing. I never got time to watch
Oh
it.
yeah, no. I mean, trust me. Who even watches SNL?
Yeah.
You know, but there was like this sketch where they were just asking him to describe Dogecoin,
Yeah.
right? And basically the whole joke is every time he gave an explanation, they said, "But what is Dogecoin?" And he
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
that about like seven or eight times,
Yeah.
and it's like, and it's It's kind of the same thing. Like I understand. I mean, I don't understand the math behind it. I don't
Yeah.
know much of anything about cryptography or anything like
Yeah.
that. But I can kind of like I have a somewhat of an educated idea
Right.
of the space, but
Yeah.
it's still
In its infancy.
there's still like this bad taste of uncertainty. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yes, like you described it, there's risk associated with putting your money in a bank,
Right.
and there's risk associated with crypto. But
Right.
I agree with that statement. But it is also true
Yeah.
that banks have proven their ability to hold and circulate money over centuries. They've
Yes.
proven themselves to be a very solid and reliable system,
Right.
right? Paper notes,
Yeah.
even though they've had many predecessors, uh,
Right.
tobacco and its friends,
Yeah.
but they've proven that ability very well. I mean, we're
Yeah.
talking about inflation and all the risks, but we've had the recipe for how to get out of those, right?
Yeah.
Crypto is the new kid on the block,
Yeah.
right? Full of promise,
Yeah.
full of ability. But
Yeah.
those kids like to ride motorcycles,
Yeah. Yeah. They definitely do.
So yes, are you just taking us on a wild ride, and we're just going to crash and burn in a flame of glory?
Right.
Or do we follow wisdom? Is
Yeah.
you I mean, I'm not saying that investing in Bitcoin is not wisdom, but I mean
Yeah.
cryptos is not wisdom, but you know, if you had the responsibility of the future of all everybody in Mali right now,
Yeah.
and you had to put the national GDP or whatever metric in,
Yeah.
basically do some asset allocation.
Yeah. It would be hard.
You know what I'm saying? Would you would
Just
you would you bank the country on Cardano?
no. Oh no. Absolutely not.
You
And
know,
so, yeah, I definitely agree. I'm definitely with you on that. Just like Cardano's is like testing things out in Ethiopia. They're trying out some things, and for Angola, I think they're going directly for the central banking industry, and they could be doing the same in Ethiopia. I don't know the exact details, but you're absolutely right about that. It would take immense capital to capture all the data to begin with, to see just get a reference point, because before you build a national currency or anything like that, you've got to have a ton of data, and just projections if this is going to be sustainable. There's so much else to the conversation than meets the eye. So I definitely agree there's more to it. And one of the things I look at, with Bitcoin is there's better technology in Bitcoin right now than most people realize. It's just, it happens to be the first one that's been out. That's what people know of to begin with, and they see it as the best asset for their investment. So people are running with Bitcoin, but there's definitely better blockchains out there. You're breaking out. Can you hear me now, Kofi? I can't hear you for some reason. Yeah, it looks like your audio went out. Maybe
Okay.
okay, there we go. Yeah,
it's
I
uh
can hear you now.
it's my mic that's trying to be funky fresh, you know what I'm saying?
Oh
But I got this under control.
no. Yeah.
Disrespectful.
Oh no, you're fine. But yeah, the corporations, they're working on their own sort of blockchain, or some type of a ledger system. So IBM is working with Google and other major corporations to develop HBAR, which is under the Hedera slash Hashgraph protocol. And then that does way more transactions than Bitcoin. And the Central Bank of India is actually considering using Hedera, which is HBAR. But then you've got to look at what
Do
the
you
path
have do
is.
you have your cell phone near the microphone or something?
No, well, yeah, this is charging. I went ahead and moved it.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to move this. So
Yeah, I think it
I've got you on the mic.
there was some
Is it
static
better
or
now?
something. Yeah, I mean it's slightly better. I have no dude, don't worry, even if it comes with like I did a podcast and there was like roosters,
Oh, is that?
doing their thing in the podcast. It was great for the ambiance, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, good, good.
Like all these flaws contribute to the whole, feng shui of the podcast.
Yeah, that's right. The authenticity, huh? That's right, man. That's right. Um, that,
Oh, but I mean, just to switch the topic for a few minutes. I
yeah,
mean, not going that far either. I know that you've been very active in the entrepreneurship space,
yes.
and I mean, information is out there. You have the will. You're
Yeah,
willing to ask questions. You'll get it done. But
absolutely.
I've been extremely curious. It's something that I've noticed for years,
Yeah,
but I couldn't put it in words. And finally, there's this study that I found,
right,
and there's there's a lot of virtue signaling in the
right,
entrepreneurship space. Like people are basically just there's this consumer market within
right,
entrepreneurship that basically the article talks about that I noticed that basically people are paying for the services
right.
that allow them to look like entrepreneurs. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Like
Okay.
almost everybody is. You look on the bio of your average 23-year-old college student. She's an entrepreneur of some sort.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I was trying to ask you how do you approach uh capital allocation in your business expenses?
For the cryptos stuff, or just all my different ventures and business ideas.
Yeah, most actually your business ideas outside of crypto actually.
Okay, so I consider land investing a business, even though people see it as a liability. Though, oh, you just went ahead and got raw land. There's nothing on it. They see it as a liability, which is understandably so. Rich dad poor dad tells us land is a liability, but I see it more so as an asset that it's appreciating in value over time. I mean, they don't make more land. So, just me holding it, knowing that the value is increasing, I see it as an asset to me, even though I don't want to sell it right now. I see it as an asset to me. So, and, what I do first is I prioritize my current living expenses. So, I live in Tulsa, so I make sure that my personal living expenses are taken care of, housing, food, bills, just to get by. And then I take care of my land. So that's my second major expenditure after my living expenditures. So my living expenses, transportation, the land, and then crypto happens to be really the third slash fourth biggest thing that really where my funds go outside of my main living expenses. So I definitely make sure that I'm okay personally, my family. I make sure that they're taken care of. I also try to look out for my friends, and if I can sponsor a friend here and there to join me, I try to join, have people join every now and then as well. Uh, by sponsorship, by way of sponsorship.
Nice,
Hmm.
nice.
But yeah, I try to be conservative with my finances. I never try to live beyond my means. I try to be as humble as I can. Don't splurge.
Yeah, I mean that's very it's a thing that it's very hard to practice, especially. I mean, I can't speak for everybody like, once
Yeah,
again, but I've had the conversation with a lot of people just trying to because for a few months I was really bugging some people about like starting a fund, and I had like a 15-year horizon on the first
uh,
fund, you know, And it was really hard to explain to people just being frugal.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't basically the people that I was trying to get around the idea. My
Right.
mistake again weren't people who were that financially savvy.
Right.
It's
My apologies there.
it's all good. It was really hard
Yeah.
to just explain that live below your mean. It's most people, it's like, yeah, every once in a while I just want to go to the club and live.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like really, I think we try to, and this applies to myself, because especially in the States, life is about so much calculation.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like you can't just be passive about it. Even if you hire somebody to take care of your finances, you
Right.
still have to stay on top of that.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Whereas back home, there's a certain, unless I've never been a breadwinner while living at home.
Yeah. Yeah. Likewise.
I can't necessarily speak for them, but it
Yeah.
seems like you can almost, at times you can be mindless back home and
Yeah.
you'll kind of make it,
Absolutely.
you know.
Absolutely. And I honestly think it has a lot to do with the mortgage system and also the credit system. Like I know back home, you could be a poor person, but your house will be paid off. So like
Yeah,
the mortgage.
yeah. It was funny for me the first time that I actually got out of my own prejudice of where I was from
Right.
and think about like how actually wealthy people are, and I have no clue they are.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like
Perception.
forget about natural resources and everything. Like
Yeah.
all of you own a house
Yeah. Out of debt, not in debt.
out of like you
Yeah.
or you or you, like not only do you own a house, but you live with your family members
Yeah. Oh yeah.
who are
See.
willing to like help you when you have a kid, help you
Right.
when you're injured. Like
Yeah.
you don't know what being alone means.
Oh man, absolutely. Oh yeah.
Like people don't understand that those intangibles are so valuable.
Oh yeah.
Like you have people who live so far from their families to be
Right.
around people, they have to go to the gym.
Man, absolutely.
Like a lot of people are chronically
Oh yeah.
lonely.
Oh yeah.
Whereas like I mean, back home, I see my cousins. Now I'm not putting nobody on the spot. If you're
Yeah.
watching this, kiss my ass.
Yeah.
It's like, like there are people who never been out of the family house.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They have no incentive, no pressure to leave.
Right. Absolutely.
And I'm like, if you could just turn all of that into cash, you'd be
Right.
surprised by how
Oh
much
man.
that
Absolutely.
is worth.
Yeah. Exactly.
Think about how healthy people eat back home.
Right. Oh
And they
man.
have no idea. Like, I mean, I was one of those people who think, oh, Jesus, these poor people,
Malnutrition.
you know, comparing, imagine being so stupid that
Yeah.
you would compare some chepujen to like caviar. Like,
Yeah.
please throw that caviar in the toilet.
Yeah. No difference. I mean, there's huge difference.
Like it's really that, like people.
Yeah.
I think the way I would describe Africans in general, right?
Yeah.
It's like being the son of a rich man who everybody works for,
Yeah.
just died. And
Yeah.
he died without explaining to you the value of what you have.
Oh, that puts it in perspective, all right.
You're about to get played left and right.
Oh, that's exactly what's happening.
Every day somebody is bringing you a paper to sign to give away a chunk of what is yours.
Yeah.
But because you you didn't even know your dad had mines in South Africa. Well,
Right.
you just gave that away.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I definitely agree there.
that's what an African looks like to me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what being African feels
Right.
like to me.
Yeah. They
Like
were
having almost unlimited value,
Yeah.
thinking that you're the poorest of the poor.
Oh yeah. It's all mind games. You know, the ability to change perception management. I
Oh
recently
yeah.
found out about that not too long ago. That there's a whole field just studying perception and changing people's views. Mass population control and so much. I learned about Bernays. That was Freud's cousin, I think. He was the one that ran with the whole PR thing. He's the one that came out with the whole public relations deal, and you use that to basically control the masses.
I
I was
mean,
just blown away.
it's one thing. That's why I say America made me a man, right?
Yeah,
Like, the things that I got to learn over here, that back home, the majority still holds as superstitious or mysterious.
right.
Like, these magic tricks involve a lot of work behind the scene.
Yeah,
There
yeah,
are
for
people
sure.
who've made it their job to sway
Yeah.
elections, sway
Oh yeah.
this and that. You need to, first of all, have some respect
Yeah.
could ever even challenge them.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's for sure.
Like, true. It's
Yeah.
it's wild, man. It's wild.
Mm.
I mean, the chains that, and this is not. Uh, thi- this is why I love this podcast. Another random topic that applies very well.
Yeah.
Like,
Freedom of speech.
well, it's so hard to, like, especially between African and Black people here, but
Yeah.
it's just hard for everybody
Yeah. Yeah.
to talk about the subject of racism and how, in my opinion, personally, I think there's racism, but racism is the outcome of ignorance, in my opinion,
Yeah.
right? The real problem is not a problem of racism. It's a
Right.
problem. It's an economic problem,
Absolutely.
right?
I agree. Group
There's
economics.
you have all these few haves and
Yeah.
all these have-nots, and you
Absolutely.
have uh governments and people who like to play popularity contests in the middle, trying to tell you who your enemy is,
Exactly.
right? So, trying to make, I think Charles Barkley actually had a video recently
Yeah. Yeah.
saying that basically it doesn't matter what party you belong to. They're
Right.
trying to turn the white against the Black,
Oh yeah.
right? The rich against the poor,
Yeah. For sure.
and basically create conflict and
Divide
reap
and
the
conquer.
benefits of it. Like, it's the only way you can rule a people, making
Oh yeah.
sure they're scared of something,
Right. Yeah.
right?
That's
Like, you read, what book is it? You read the Art of War.
right.
Create an enemy,
Yeah.
create a great enemy, put
Oh yeah.
put people in a situation of life or death.
Yeah.
They
They'll give
will
you all the
follow you
rights.
almost anywhere.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
it's it's ah.
It's the bitter truth.
Please let me, like, I have my stimulus for my retirement, man. I'm planning
Yeah.
to retire. God, please, at the latest 40, I'm going
Yeah.
to buy a plot of land in the middle of nowhere with a couple of palm trees that I can just take down one every other month, you
Yeah.
know, sip on some palm wine,
Yeah.
watch the sunrise and
Man,
set,
that's
you
the
know.
to the back, man.
Yeah, man, because I can't deal with this, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Deal with this.
Absolutely.
Like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean, just thinking about, like, I mean, beyond racism, to me, racism is really a political tool.
It is. It is. There's one human race. I mean, we all come from Africa, and it's like science confirms it daily. You know, to the exact location. You know, down to the Garden of Eden. Actually,
It's
it's, yeah,
and the funniest thing for me, right? And this is where I have trouble with some of my Christian brothers and sisters, right?
yeah,
You can't show up to church
right,
on Sunday or be in your house in the middle of the week and
right,
praise this loving God,
yeah, yeah,
right? And try to find the worst in people
right.
the minute,
Oh
you
yeah,
know, it's people are Christian or loving Christians between 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. on Sunday.
yeah, yeah. Oh, that's the window, right?
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
that's when they go and cleanse themselves
oh, yeah,
and virtue signal that they're
right.
good Christians.
Oh
The
yeah,
rest of the week, they're
right.
in the name of whatever righteousness, they're
Yeah,
some of the worst human beings
man,
the
that's,
Lord is allowing to breathe.
oh yeah.
You
It's a
know,
cover. The religion's a cover for a lot of
it's crazy, man.
yeah,
It's crazy. Like, and I think the current state of things, like we live in an era where people choose to overlook the place of religion in society. But
right.
I think there's a true of crisis of faith. People don't believe in anything anymore. Like I'm
Yeah,
not even talking about believing in God. Like
right,
I'm saying just believing in something
right.
bigger than yourself.
Yeah,
You know, and I think and I don't know. Maybe technologies such as the internet, maybe as from a belief standpoint, we're supposed
right,
to make us have more belief in humanity by collaborating and meeting each other at a global scale. But the more
right.
we meet each other, the more we don't want to know anything about one
Uh,
another.
yeah, yeah,
Like we've watched too many videos of babies being snatched,
right.
people being kicked in the head for
Yeah,
not believe that the other person might be the devil.
right. Yeah, absolutely.
It's
Yeah, that's for sure.
it's wild, man. It's
It
wild,
is. It really is.
wild times.
Yeah,
But
no,
oh, by the way, are you still helping out with that church in Oklahoma?
I was still in Texas, I think.
Oh, that was in Texas. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, no, I was an outreach director there. Not anymore. It was great experience. You know, it allowed me to reach out to the community there and network with so many people, and it developed me so much as an entrepreneur. It sounds counterintuitive, but doing the outreach just helped me get more people skills. Just just pick up more on what people really need as opposed to what I assume they need. So going out there just helped me connect better with people doing that.
Oh yeah, tell me about that. How,
Yeah,
because you studied engineering as well, right?
I did. I
Electrical?
did. Yes, I did. I actually double majored in electrical engineering and physics with a minor in GIS, geographical information.
Please, there might be a young African child out there looking at his elder saying, tell me more, tell me more.
Yeah.
Tell me the story. Tell me your academic career story.
Okay, so I came here in middle school. This was back in '97. That was my family's first trip to the U.S. So we came by way of New York. So we stayed in New York State. I was getting in learning English while doing middle school, while my dad was getting his master's degree in economics and community development. So after he got his master's degree in economics, my family went back home to Africa. I did some middle school there and came back in high school. So 11th grade is when I came back. This was back in 2002. So I've been in the States since '02. I do plan on going back home to Mali for this. My parents have been visiting here and it's just been somewhat challenging to go back and just keeping my head down, studying, working, just trying to stay afloat. It's been somewhat challenging, but I plan on going back soon. Hopefully this year, if not next year. It's definitely on my radar. I see Africa as the future of the world. There's so much, in terms of development and growth there. No way. The youth that doesn't wake up and try to do something about their situation. I really feel like, the youth in Africa is just waking up at an alarming pace. They're just sick of the old heads. They're sick of the old politicians, and they just want to see change. So I'm excited to go back and help with that change, sooner rather than later.
So
Working directly with the youth, that's one of the things, and it's my passion to work with the youth here in Tulsa as well. But I've got so much on my plate. I'm working on trying to get a coin out. So many things.
yeah. So where did you go to university?
Oh, university. I'm sorry. So I cut the story short. I went to community college first. I did 2 years. I studied electronics. I studied electronics technology in Pennsylvania, Delaware County Community College, and then I transferred out to Louisiana Tech, where I did the double major in engineering and physics, along with the minor in GIS. But quickly got bored out of that and transferred out to Maryland. I pursued telecom, information assurance. And before I knew it, I was working in IT. I had an IT system admin job, and eventually, I think I got burnt out. I was so exhausted. I wanted to reclaim my freedom. So that led me to the route of entrepreneurship. Starting with just helping small business owners, whatever they need. I would just pop up to a random restaurant, ask them if they needed any help with marketing. Oh yeah, sure. We need a logo. We need our website redone, the funnel, and before you know it, I was doing a little bit of everything. It gave me a lot of exposure in the business world. Outsourcing, it helped me learn about outsourcing. Because I couldn't do everything, so I had to offload some of that workload to some people I found online for temporary jobs. Some of the people I worked with on a more longer term basis. And I did quite a few things in the entrepreneurship world. I even had an Amazon dropshipping business at one point. I was making over 10 grand a month, dropshipping medical supplies, survival gear. But that business dwindled down over time. I had great volume, but because Amazon had put some penalties against my account and eventually banned the account, it ran it. The business completely failed. So that's why I don't have that business anymore. But going into the crypto space, it just showed me that you can make a ton of money without Amazon. And I feel like a lot of people feel like Amazon is the way to go if they want to make money online. There's so many other ways, obviously.
Uh, I mean, the returns. I looked at the returns in advertising. Not terrible.
Oh yeah. Wait, I'm sorry.
When I guess that's when things are good.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. When things are good, I mean, things went swimmingly. I used to advertise on Amazon, ran Amazon campaigns, and I got good returns from the campaigns. But it just showed me that it's almost like Amazon wants you to advertise to really get some serious traction on their platform. So I'm glad I don't have to do that in the crypto world, even though I deposited and invest my money into it. I don't see it as something that I've got to sustain just to be able to do business on the platform.
Yeah.
So crypto takes away a lot of the overheads associated with traditional businesses. I love that.
Yeah, that's nice. So I mean, just to come back on the education part, what's the challenge of being a double major?
The challenge of being a what?
Of double majoring.
Oh, the challenge of being a double major. Well, to be honest with you, I really didn't use any of the majors. I didn't use electrical engineering when I got out, nor physics. I went straight into computer administration and systems administration.
All those calculations, all those nights.
Didn't use any of them.
Like that was one of the most irritating things for me to think about when I was in college. Like
the workload,
like hanging out with all these professional engineers,
and
them telling me you're not even going to use most of this in
the
world. And I'm like, who is the idiot who has me burning myself out every other day?
Exactly.
Like, and like learning down the line that Oh yeah, the guys who went and who are doing business, and yet there's like stiff competition in business, and it's
Right,
not all of them that become like high executives,
right.
but most of the executives that are like telling you the specs on something they don't know nothing about are not
Yeah,
even engineers.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Like
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just thinking about that, like that was so revolting.
Yeah,
I
it is.
mean, I'm not. I mean, I understand school doesn't care about my personal ambitions; it just cares about educating me. But
Right.
I mean, I'm paying you at
Oh,
least
yeah,
in education. If we haven't paid anything for 4 years,
yeah.
it's at least $100,000.
Oh, yeah, yeah, most
You know,
definitely.
and
Yeah, yeah,
probably more. So
yeah,
I'm paying you this little fortune that
right.
my family could have started a multiple successful businesses with.
Yeah,
I'm giving you this money, and this is how much value I'm getting out of it.
yeah, oh, yeah,
Get out of here. Get out
yeah,
of here with that nonsense, man.
exactly.
What? You
You
mean
know,
to tell me that I'm paying you all this money for you to hand me copies,
yeah,
photocopies? I
oh,
can
yeah,
learn that on my own. Like
exactly.
it and it's like I'm super glad that I went to Laterna.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
first of all, they need to pay me if they want me to keep talking about them, and I'm going to
yeah,
take them out of my bio because
right.
advertisement should not be that free.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
as if I was the most successful student of that school.
Yeah. No, absolutely, right.
but but it's like what I really liked about Laterna, right? For
Yeah,
all the crazy things that I've been through and the
yeah,
stupid things that can happen with administration and all that nonsense, as
right,
far as the faculty and the
yeah,
curriculum and the
right,
practical aspect of what you're able to do,
right.
Laterno is top tier.
Yeah, yeah,
Top tier. Like my education over there was,
yeah,
I mean, it was painful, but
yeah,
you're learning it's probably why it's so painful. You're
yeah,
learning fast and you're learning every
right.
day
Oh, yeah,
at very high volume,
right.
you know, and on top of that, you're developing discipline, that can do attitude, that finish it attitude. Like
Right.
it was amazing.
Yeah.
But to except for that, it's
Right.
still not enough value
Right.
for what I'm putting in.
Yeah.
Like, I
Absolutely.
mean, I understand there's like this real difference between how people doing the same job in different places in the world make money. Because you know,
Right.
the money that people are working in West Africa,
Yeah.
by the time it gets here, it's not enough
Right.
compared to the requirements of the land.
Yeah.
But you're
Yeah.
still trying to get the same education that somebody who has enough means over here.
Right. And
Like
I honestly, oh no, go ahead.
you may be in the same classes, but you
Yeah.
are hardly playing the same game.
Exactly.
You,
Yeah. That's absolutely true. And
you have to study like an animal. You
oh
have
yeah.
to translate I mean, if you are cursed to still have to translate English to your native tongue in your head
Right.
while doing a thermodynamics problem,
Yeah.
while trying to use software you've never seen before,
Relate to
may,
people you've never related to before.
may the odds always be in your favor.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely, man.
No, but just I think you do adapt, but it's really challenging.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really
It is.
challenging. Like I mean, but I'm complaining. Yes, I'm complaining, but it's still more value
Yeah.
than I would have gotten
Thanks.
if I
Yeah.
spent that money somewhere else. I mean,
Yeah.
somewhere back home.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
good.
I'm not shitting on the quality
Yeah.
back home, but I'm shitting
Right.
on it a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I understand what you're saying. it resonates with me what you said, especially about getting value for the education you pay for. Because like I went to Louisiana Tech, and I don't like dropping names and not attributing anything to the school in case it ever does come back. But I feel like I could have gotten more value because so having done the 2 years at a community college, we did electronics, we did a lot of labs. The labs were a lot of hands-on stuff, so we got to dig in, troubleshoot components and all that. But going to the university, they have the electrical engineering program. They have a few lab courses where they show you basic circuitry, but it was nowhere near as involved as it was with the community college, and understandably so, because I guess there's a trade aspect to the community schools. They just seeing the advantage from universities and conventional colleges. So I think it's one of those things, for us to look at as Africans and also for the diaspora that, if we want trades, we have to understand that a lot of these universities don't offer trades anymore. And to be honest with you, it took me a while to understand that. And like I literally had to drop out of college and, try to pave my own way, freelancing, being an independent contractor. But I eventually found out that I need to build up my skill set, and I'm saying that as a man, you get married and then your wife expects you to do certain things. You can't do it because you went to college. um,
It's,
and it'll save so much money if you just know how to do certain things. And that's why I started picking up trades and trying to learn about
you have to,
construction.
you have to,
You
like,
have to be well-rounded in this world now. Otherwise, you're going to pay a ton for services.
it's not an acceptable joke that, oh, you went all these years to school to become like a top tier engineer, and you
Yeah,
can't even like use
troubleshoot a
a hammer
microwave.
and a nail. Like,
Yeah,
it's not a good sounding joke.
no, 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 not at all.
Like,
Uh,
I mean, to me, I've always had this obsession because I grew up in the equatorial, in a city in the middle of the equatorial forest.
right,
And truth be told, some of the best times of my life.
wow,
But it was my time there
right,
and just the different activities that I was able to be part of. Like, you
right,
you would see how an airport is being built from scratch.
right.
How
It's
like
exciting.
how like they're bringing broadband to the city where you at, and you see like
Right.
these international companies building
Making
antennas,
fences and
infrastructure.
yeah,
So I grew up thinking, and I came to university thinking like, I want to be the guy who's so capable
right,
that even if I find myself on a project in the middle of the jungle and
right,
my equipment fails, I'm
right,
so proficient at my craft, in
right.
my discipline, that I can still get the job done.
Exactly.
I remember being an intern, and the internet would go out, but we'd still
Right,
have power, right? The computers are still working, and
right,
some of the phones are still working. You can
huh,
still call like engineers used to do and get the
right,
job done. But as soon as the internet is cut,
right.
the people are taking the rest of the day off.
Wow.
Now, there's
Huh.
nothing bad necessarily about that, and I
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
enjoyed going home early, like, and still being paid for it, possibly.
right.
But it's like, I approach my work every time as, what if I was the boss here?
Yeah, yeah,
What would I want my intern to do?
exactly.
Right now, I don't get me wrong. I'm talking like I'm super righteous and I was just going
No,
above and
no,
beyond. I wasn't.
no, good
But it's
thought.
like, but it's really being able to still function. Because think about the human body. You lose an arm, your body adapts. You lose your
Right.
eyes, knock on wood, your body adapts.
Yeah,
So if it's an organization, we lose internet, I still want to see work being done.
yeah,
Like, we lose half of the employees, I
right.
still want to see what the other half can get done.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Yeah,
it's it's
yeah.
it's you
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 know,
you get you for all that money, you get to learn so little.
Right.
So
That's
little.
exactly how I feel. That's my sentiment, unfortunately.
They've turned university, they've turned the education into, you shouldn't be able to make that much money
Right.
out of the education business. You should be able to have a lot of time to do other things,
Yeah.
but not to just, like, look at how much tuition has increased in the States.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
I get the privilege to be an African talking about first world problems.
Yeah. At one point, these are first generation immigrant problems. These are serious issues, man. These are issues we face daily.
You know what I'm saying?
First gen immigrant problems, man. Serious stuff, man. Trailblazer here, you know. Somebody's got to do it, right? Might as well be us.
Somebody has to do it. I gotta, you know, I'm switching again. You know how, like, there's these commercials about for 30 cents a month you can feed this
feed a
kid.
child. Oh, yeah. Man,
Okay, whenever you watch this,
yeah.
try to not be butthurt and cancel me. Try not.
Yeah.
But like, when I meet with some of like my close friends, African American friends, and we start, because to me, you can't be friends if you can't make the worst jokes.
Yeah.
So it's like when they start cracking jokes about.
Oh yeah,
all
they
that.
love that.
I start.
My friends do that too sometimes. I have to stop them dead in their tracks. Go ahead.
I have to crack the worst jokes, man.
Yeah.
I go in.
Yeah, I get back sometimes.
Why were you lazy while everybody else was running?
Oh man, that's horrible, man.
It's mean, man.
Yeah. Man. I bet you get some blowback from that too, don't you?
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Of course. But I mean, people need. I'm trying to be soft here, but
yeah, we're cousins. Like that's how I look at it.
You have to take the power out of certain things, like the historical trauma is true.
Yeah.
And it hurts, and in a way, it's not fair to say.
Yeah.
But we don't have monopoly on pain, man.
Right.
Like pain is common to all people. We might be the latest in a long lineage of people getting dealt terrible cards. Right. It's our responsibility to take the necessary action so that it never happens again.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you beat me last game. Cool. I'll see you next season.
Yeah.
You know, we can't just like start crying and then players start transferring, the club owners start focusing on entertainment more than the sport. You know, we need to focus. We need to focus and improve ourselves first.
Yeah.
If we show, like, look at a group of men that shows respect to each other, right?
Yeah.
You are less tempted to go fuck with them than a group of men who are already cussing at and disrespecting each other.
Yeah, most definitely.
You know, like we enjoy videos of Black people fighting online a little too much.
Right. Yeah.
Slightly too much.
Yeah, I definitely do.
The culture needs to be reformed.
Yes, I definitely agree. It definitely needs to be some deep cultural reformation and spiritual reformation as well. I don't think the church has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
Because if you look at history, the church in the African American community, they've been able to affect so many changes, good and bad.
I think in communities, right, and you see it more clearly in at least in Black communities, but you see more clearly in African American communities, is that there's three main institutions in the community. there's the barbershop,
Mm-hmm.
the hair salon,
Right.
and the church.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh,
You will go confess your sins in one of those three places.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Right?
Sure.
So those places need to, like, I saw this great initiative where this barbershop was giving psychological training, counseling training to their barbers.
Yeah.
Right? You need the same, you need something of that nature to be able to constantly speak to the people so that I mean, I don't know that's the way of changing mass behavior, but those institutions in Black communities are way too strong for their impact to be neglected.
Right.
You know, but I mean, what do I know? I'm just a 30-something-year-old with a lot of debt, pretending that he understands the world. Yeah. So what do you have for the rest of your Sunday, by the way?
Sunday wrestling. I started, the whole transition. Enjoying my Sabbath, really taking both Sabbath and Sunday off. So I'm trying to make it a point to take both days off, which is extremely hard, being an entrepreneur and an athlete, coming from a poor background. One of those things. I know that I've struggled with all this time. I have no time to lose. I've got every day of the week. But I think it's one of those things as I get older. I'm starting to realize the rest is just as important as working. You got to give your brain some time to stop, think about everything you're going through. Why is this happening? Why is that? What can I do better? What can I have my neighbors? Just a time of reflection. So I really take both days off. I really do self inspection and also house cleaning, literal house cleaning, and also just trying to be a better person. This 2 days. I try to get my reading in. It's hard for me to read reading in the middle of the week because I'm just working so much and exhausted. Come nighttime. I try to do my reading on the weekend.
Yeah. That's actually. I need to find the wisdom to get more rest.
Yeah.
I'm the type to go on a 2-3 day no sleep.
Yeah.
It's unnecessary. You wake up, you don't know what day of the week it is. You miss appointments. It's actually very counterproductive.
Yeah. There's so much research coming out about sleep. People are learning so much. I was under the impression that I had that sleep and not really productive. But find out that that's not necessary. Scientists like, oh, there's one of those things that went out there. People think that, if you're nocturnal, you're not productive. That's not. There's plenty of productive entrepreneurs. I know that I tend to be now. I get a lot of work in when sleep.
I'm that nocturnal guy, dude. Like but I've kind of been able to, because I was thinking for years that I was the one who was weird.
Yeah.
But then you find out when the more you learn about, for example, business, but really anything, the more you realize there's so much work that needs to be done at night. Whether it's in the research field, whether it's like people who have to teach at night simply because people who work during the day need that. Whether it's all these club and event promoters,
It's people around the world. Not everyone's on the same time.
Yeah. Like even the podcast, for example, like, it's great when I'm talking to you and you're just this close. We're in the same time zone. But if you're the friends, like, yesterday I was supposed to talk to this high school friend of mine, and just trying to take a nap. I completely messed up our times in alignment to do the podcast. They,
Sorry,
they,
sorry.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah.
But you get to adapt.
They're growing things, big growing things. It's just like the crypto stuff, I've been great successful, but then again, I've gotten hurt a few times. I've lost some money. I've joined platforms so far, they really exited. My funds and this funds I received. So it's one of those things that I've learned to fully since the platform I joined them. So now I've got one platform in mind. It's not only been independently verified, but it's a contract audited. The funding has been also audited along with other components, insurance, long-term sustainability. So that's one of the things I always try to recommend people before getting into crypto opportunity. Look at the long-term sustainability of the project. What's feeding that project? What's going to ensure that it doesn't get phased out easily because technology doesn't move fast. You need to find currency that's built on broad technology that's not necessarily future, not the nearest future. That's got a long runway. Maximize your investment.
Before we actually even finish here, I wanted to come back to a conversation we were having a couple of days ago, you and I, when you were introducing me to privacy coins.
Oh
Yeah. Tell me more about those.
So there's a privacy coins right now. There's pirate chain, there's Nero, and what they basically allow you to do is transact and go through within any type of conventional exchange, but it does transaction in a more private way. It doesn't mean that you're anonymous because your identity found out. I guess the government really find out who you are. They can do that, but it just provides more security, more privacy than Bitcoin, for example, and more security as well. And the reason being is they built like from scratch, like Dash. It's not necessarily privacy coin. It's leaning towards that way. There's so many features that make it censorship proof and make it resilient overall. So it's got those advantages that help last a long time, and also be a solid platform for years to come. And so there's that is what the people need to look into. I've been looking into that. To prevent my ass being allocated one spot in case anything happens with Bitcoin, which I don't anticipate. God forbid happen with Bitcoin. I've got an alternative where my ass is going. So pirate chain was one of the first I started. Pirate chain.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that there's an advantage to holding a lot of the privacy coins, say even Dash, traveling abroad overseas. There's so many places like POS systems that take transactions currency. And if you already had a debit card that has one of those currency, you're good to go. You can just like this regular debit card and go on about your business privately without worrying about corporations collecting all your data, knowing where you are at all times.
Let them know.
Yeah.
It is what it is at this point.
Yeah, I think we're all track anyway.
You watch me on my way to go impregnate your daughters.
Stop
playing with me.
Exactly. And the whole concept behind the privacy was not that you're trying to hide some nuclear. I think it's the values. I don't want these corporations going in versus about 1 second. There's something I can do about it. I would rather go that route. It's a solution.
A question that just came up to me. is it possible
Yeah.
to have an insurance against your portfolio of cryptos?
So that's a good question. There are some platforms that do back their investments. And some platforms just flat out tell you personally your own risk, risk losing it. That's happened. People got platform they thought would ensure their investment. So it's one of those things. It's people have to do due diligence to find out what platforms will actually secure their assets, which platforms do not do that. If you're going in with a large amount of money, better secure your asset base.
Yeah.
That's definitely a good question. People need to ask that question how to become. We're joining anything really.
Because I'm thinking that might be another pretty lucrative at least sector to look at for investments, because some of those insurances, if they exist, they're bound to fail.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, there might be what one of my favorite intellectuals call asymmetrical returns.
Oh yeah.
You know, but we'll see. I definitely have my eye on the space. I plan on talking to a few more people who are active in the space, not only in cryptocurrencies, but in fintech, and also in the regular financial system, banking, stocks. I'm also very curious. You were talking about it slightly about the land economy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was doing some research. I want to talk to these professors out of Ghana, who they have a decent faculty on land economy over there. This podcast is basically my tool to get to free the nerd. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, it's good stuff.
Yeah,
We're so vast. I mean, we're so vast trying to put us in the box, especially those.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to keep educating myself in the space. I hope if you have time, anywhere between 2 weeks to a month, we might get to do this once again. And if you don't mind, I'll try. I don't know yet. I don't know when yet, because there's still a few things that have to line up in my personal plans. But I would be. Would you be interested for? I'm going to set up a podcast with everybody that I know who's in the finance slash crypto entrepreneurship industry. Just have like a quick Zoom call with about a dozen people.
Okay.
And just try to like exchange an ideas, somewhat of a stupid little reflection slash workshop. Because I really want all these ideas that I'm learning about cryptos and in finance and savings to just collide and see if I can derive, or at least if we can come up with a central theme that may be beneficial to those who are willing to take action.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that sounds good.
Yeah, definitely. I'll try to not hold you for too much longer. We've been on for what, about 2 hours now? Yeah. Today's not the day to beat the record.
Yeah.
The record is 4 hours and I think 34 or 54 minutes.
Oh man, that's good. All that footage on YouTube. there's store down there in cloud.
Simple. We were talking about Africa.
Yeah.
There's too much to say.
Yeah. Most definitely. You definitely are working on some exciting things. I know your idea was working with Ghana. So much. Legit, the other day I was watching a video about it's a palm tree. That basically people use for something. And one of the things that they used was treating infertility. Yeah. People would literally just sit either on the palm tree or by it and say a prayer. It's supposedly regardless of the religion, you get pregnant and
we know how to. A lot of us know how to innovate in the metaphysical world.
Yeah.
Or at least they have a couple scams.
Yeah.
That's another space to invest in. But meditation is on the rocket.
It must be true, man. It's like I saw it.
No, I mean, back, especially with the advent of phone cameras and now like all these events that we used to hear legends of. People are able to film it so we can make up our mind about what we're seeing now.
Yeah.
And you get to like, I mean, there's still some things that are like hyper mysterious. All these hopes now that you get to just, you get to filter them easily. Yeah. It's definitely a fun time to be alive.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a while since we met out. What you did we need?
Me, where am I now?
No. What year did you read?
Last time I met, let me see. It was probably 2016, 2017, probably.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I moved a bit in the Fillmore area during that time. Like I had some crazy car problem at the time, so I couldn't move. I wasn't as mobile.
Yeah.
Then I just got kind of tired with Texas and all like the cops who have nothing to do. Yeah. So I mean, the same stuff that I was getting the craziest tickets for. The cops here are letting me just slide by. Because they have actual criminals to deal with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like maybe the criminals need to have like summer vacations or something.
Right.
And go back to the country and help those guys out. I don't know what it is. Like they need to know that there are serious things to take care of in life. Not just traffic tickets.
Oh yeah. It seems like the cops used to the border. They just worse with the oil for shelling out $500 for a
Yeah. It makes you wonder. Yeah. Yes. Since 2016. Honestly, I mean, I'm always bubbling with ideas. So an old idea that I had was to try to organize a conference.
Right.
I don't know if it will be a conference, but I plan on having a couple of dinners in the upcoming months. I'm trying to have them at least once a month.
Oh, is that right in Houston?
Yeah, in Houston. And just get a couple people working on a couple of things around the table, exchange ideas, see if there's any means to connect. Because unless you're being proactive about that sort of thing, it's so hard to. It's to connect online, but there's that interpersonal thing that gets lost in translation.
Yeah, absolutely.
and I know that it's so much easier to talk to somebody around some good food. So
Right.
I might have some mafe and some fufu and
Bro,
everything.
everything.
In case you hear nothing good, you'll be full of something good.
Yeah, go.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
all man.
yeah. So in a couple months, if you feel like taking a couple of days vacation, probably in a weekend, I'll let you know if I have something going down.
Okay. I was actually in Houston last March. I was there for a plumbing tour.
Oh,
Yeah, the real
okay.
estate company out of Lago, they had a funding when I went down there. Check out what their funding process is, and it's good stuff. But I just found it better.
Bro. You see, you're the perfect prototype for like a couple of ladies that I know around here who are afraid of their 30s tripping on them. So they're looking for a man of value, high value.
I don't know.
Kenneth Samuel's high value talk. So I will be glad to introduce you to a couple of ladies.
And sure, man, always looking for never grow. Always diversity. That's what I always say. Diversity.
Hey, I'm here. I tell everybody, I'm here to see what my children will look like in different races.
Yeah. I never heard that one.
I apologize to whoever is not happy about my personal, but hide your daughters.
Thinking about going overseas.
Oh man,
Different people.
that's. I'm really glad like to think that you maybe you'll never visit every country in the world. But being in certain places in the world allows you to see almost every people from every part of the world, especially America.
Right.
Like to imagine that kid from a tiny village out of Burundi somewhere will be dating some tall, red-headed Irish girl from Scotland in the middle of Portland, Oregon somewhere. Like these things just line up somehow over here. Like you see some of the most interesting mix. The second of third generation immigrant kids, like you see mixes like your dad is Russian, your mother is from Mali. Does that work?
Yeah, exactly. So many combos going on. So many combos.
Oh yeah. You see like the good girl from a decent family.
Yeah.
Redhead from Lomé. talking about and they're talking to you about investment. And that's another thing that I like, right? When you're in Africa, like a person who makes responsible decisions. Has this stereotypical look, suit and tie, like over here, a bum looking individual might actually be the person you need to listen to. He probably owns every gas station in your little city. Calm down.
That's the truth. Definitely a lot to learn from. It's a good way to do things. Along the way.
Oh yeah. I really like the it's not undercover millionaires. Like not this obsession with money. Like let's put that aside. Just being able to find people with expertise.
Yeah.
That's like you just find somebody and he's been studying bowls
Right.
for the past 20 years.
Yeah.
Never thought bowls could be interesting.
Right.
And this dude start telling you about it, and you start making reconsidering choices in life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, most definitely.
Oh, it's fun, man. It's fun.
It seems like that's definitely been taken away from society. You know, not just the duty to specialize in trade or just pick up some handy skills, but just having the ability to be ubiquitous. It's almost frowned upon now. So many things people are like, well, one of these is pick something, stick with it. I don't want to pick something, stick with it. I want to learn as many things as I can.
Everybody is now trying to become a master at Excel.
Yeah, absolutely. And it goes along with having concentration thing.
Excel. I mean, Excel. Talking shit, but Excel is one of the greatest things ever created. Like, I mean, Bill Gates should forget about the PC and operating system and just focus on Excel. Excel is a blessing to humanity. That might get him to heaven.
Yeah.
But it's just like I know so many techies. Too many people are technologically gifted who couldn't save their own lives.
Right.
I will see you eat cornflakes with water.
Yeah.
It's tragic. Like, it's this way in which somebody described it, but they were talking about intellectuals, right? They were describing it that somebody who's hyper specialized, right, is like think about this regular sized dude who has this big ear. Like this big right ear that's just huge. It's the same thing as being hyper specialized. Not that it's terrible, but you are extremely good at one thing and below average at everything else.
Oh yeah.
That's a recipe for disaster. You will never be able to stand on your own.
No, I definitely agree. I definitely agree. And I think urbanization unfortunately has a lot to do with that. People moving cities, and they don't see the need to anything. Everything is just for them. And something goes wrong with their house, they just call a service. They don't try anything. Call a plumber.
Yeah. I mean, in economic theory, will be described as the proper division of labor to increase economic productivity.
Yeah.
At what price? I guess the society at large. There's the tyranny of the majority. The society at large does not care that much about your individual development.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely not.
Right. It cares about how much you benefit. So you really have to be. Yourself.
Yeah.
To improve and accept the cost, because it's not like the system is going to make anything easier on you because you suddenly decided to be righteous towards yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess that's part of the shit eating that is life.
Unfortunately.
My new mantra is life is just a tragic comedy.
Yeah. That's exactly what it's turning out. Pandemic.
Hey. This pandemic, if people didn't know how goofy their governments were for this pandemic.
Yeah.
I mean, if you haven't learned by now, you weren't supposed to know anything to start with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like what? Even if I was lying when I was 5 years old, I'd be able to make better lies than that.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, man.
Everything's great.
Put on some mask, don't put on mask. Chloro is good, chloro green is terrible. The flu is a killer. Corona is a killer. It kills everybody. Now he kills less than 5%. This is right. Like this.
We need herd immunity. We all know we don't need herd immunity. We don't need it.
I could never trust you in 1,000 years.
Yeah.
Like what? And to imagine that these are the people who whose advice we're supposed to rely on when we're making future plans.
Right.
My plans include the fact that you'll always be stupid.
Right. Exactly.
I will plan considering that.
Yeah.
You are never going to figure it out. There's no point in me trying. There's no point in me praying about it.
Yeah.
Okay. You and the Lord will solve that someday. My poetry and my poem wine and I will be on my land, relaxing, counting sunrises and sunsets.
Yeah. Going back to the simple, man.
Oh, dude. I'm not saying that. I'm not like the only thing that will be missing from that super life, the proper Wi-Fi. So get Wi-Fi, you know, have a couple servers in the barn, running a couple mining operations. I'm good, man. I don't want to know anything.
Yeah.
Food by drone, and the drone should never have a camera. It should be censored.
Yeah.
What I'm doing.
Right. Exactly. Right. That's cool.
Yeah.
I think that's good getting out this pandemic. Everyone's going back to the simple, going back to growth. I mean, even if they don't get the value, you do it. Even if it's at home, growing a planter too, it goes a long way.
Oh yeah. At least to have the knowledge and
just getting something.
That you come to find out that all those crazy preppers are actually the people who made sense.
Yeah. All these years, people have been looking at them like they don't know.
Oh, you finally realize that they're the wise ones.
Yeah. And from my understanding, the food crisis is going to get even worse. Along with the supply chain issues. Some things are going out of stock and shortages, global shortages, so many places. It's one of those things. I think if a person does what you need to do for stuff family and teach others how to do the same thing. I think ultimately that's the solution. Help them come out that pandemic. We gotta help each other.
Be responsible for your life.
Yeah.
Don't just say that to kids.
Yeah.
Be responsible for your life. Like try to make whether you're a government or an individual, try to make better decisions.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
I should not be the person saying this because I'm not in a position of telling nobody about better decisions. Come on. When I have to say that you know things are messed up.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing about this. I feel like I'm an infinite because I've learned just with the last few months, just following these experts and looking at what they do. I just copycat. Before I know it, I'm telling people pointing next. Man, I can't believe this 4 months ago, And now I'm the one putting out these recommendations.
Yeah.
It's blowing my mind.
You're growing in this space and you're taking action.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm going to have to leave you.
Okay.
a short little nap before recording another podcast in a few hours.
Yeah.
So we definitely will stay in contact and definitely try to do this in about a month or so.
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah. You have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Evening, I guess. Enjoy a nighttime barbecue if you can. Start the week with the proper nutrition.
Yeah, that's right. Gotta get some local barbecue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, I have way too many engagements, but I'll just make it through Oklahoma in a couple of months, going through Arkansas probably.
Stop by, great city, man. People just see it as, crime excited city. It's a great city, This guy's it's like any other city.
Yeah. I might just stop by with some ribs,
Yeah, that'd be good. Throw somebody grill.
Yeah. Anyway, man, it was a pleasure.
Yeah, definitely.
Till next time.
Yeah, thank you so much, my friend. God bless you.
God bless you. Have a great week.
Yeah, thank you. You too.
All right, bye.
All right, bye.